Folks, welcome back to Nostalgianomics. Today I have the top 10 most undervalued modern promo cards. Modern meaning XY, Sun and Moon, Sword and Shield era promos. Before we get into that, I have a major announcement for the channel. I made a community post about a week ago asking how all of you would feel about possibly doing something here on the channel, and the results were pretty fantastic. And so without further ado, Nostalgianomics.com is live, and you will be able to sign up for live box breaks there. We're going to be having the first live box break June 11th. Few details to go into that. One, this isn't going to be loose packs or loose blisters. No. These are going to be real sealed booster boxes that are going to be ripped live on the channel, and all the packs will be opened live on the stream. Now, also, you will be getting every card in the packs. I know that was one of the concerns I saw in the comments on that post was, are you going to ship us all the cards? I'm not keeping your bulk. I'm not just going to send you the hits. You will get every single card, including the code and the pack. Everything that is opened, you will receive. I wanted to start these out with a bang, and so I went big. Now, obviously, we're going to have Paldea Evolved available because it's a brand new set. I'm sure a lot of people want to see those cards. But because tag teams have been on fire, we're going to have a Unified Minds and an Unbroken Bonds box break on June 11th. So the hits are a little more guaranteed as hits can be in Pokemon, in booster boxes as opposed to loose packs. So you should have a pretty good opportunity to get some pretty good hits out of this. Now, as far as the pricing goes, I tried to make it as fair as possible. I didn't want to hose anybody. Okay, so obviously there's a small premium for having the box being broke by me on the channel and me doing all the work of opening it and shipping it and all that. There's obviously a small premium for the, sealed boxes as opposed to just loose packs. But it's not that far over market price for these packs. I try to make it as fair as possible. So this is what they're going to go for. $23 for Unified Minds, $21 for Unbroken Bonds, and then $18 for 4 Paldea Evolved packs. Now, if you did want a way to get a little more preferred pricing, I did create a way for that as well. I've been busy, folks. I did take the time and create channel memberships. So, if you want to be a part of the channel, you want to be part of the Nomics fam, okay, you can sign up for the $1.99 a month. Now, I'll be honest with you, there's not really any real perks that come with this, other than supporting me, supporting the channel, wanting to see the content get better. You are going to get some loyalty badges, right? You're going to get the Pokeball right up front. If you're here a month, you get the Great Ball. 2 months, you get the Ultra Ball. 6 months, you get the Master Ball. And if you're here a whole year, you get the GS Ball. Now, only you real Pokemon fans know what the GS Ball is. That's what you get for a year. You also get some cool emojis to use in the live chats when everyone's here. You got the Sealed King, me on the sealed product. You get the Stay the Course. It's the pirate ship going through the storm. You get the Tauros with the Bullish, all the arrows going up, and then you get the Ursaring with the Bearish, all the arrows going down. So you'll get those to use, and more emojis will come as well, but they'd only let me start out with 4 if you want to go with that tier. Now, if you want to step up to the Nomics Fam Plus tier, Plus Max, it's $4.99 a month. However, anyone who is wanting to take advantage of these and participate in the box breaks, I'm going to be having at least 2 of these, if not more, per month if this one goes well. And so for $4.99 a month, you're going to get 10% off every single pack. No limit. And so if you're purchasing 2 or more packs a month, you're basically going to save money getting in this membership. It's a way for me to kind of benefit those of you who are, participate in the box breaks and you're spending money on the packs. It's a way for you to get the packs cheaper. And honestly, if you're buying 3, 4, 5, 6 packs per break, I'm honestly going to lose money on this deal. But it's a way for me to reward those of you who are, supporting the channel and supporting the box breaks. And so this is going to be available to you as well. So I'd highly recommend this if you are going to buy 2 or more packs per break, because with 10%, it's basically going to work out in your favor. Other news, the site, obviously it's up. You can't see it because my face is on front of it, but I got the storefronts over to the right, my eBay and TCG Player storefront links. To the left, I got my socials. You can link to those if you want to check me out on those. The merch is going to be available on here. I got the logo merch, the original design, and then also the caps. And then also, I have this link. So this is going to be all the recommended products and services I use. Up top is going to be PokeNE. That's Brian. He's been on my podcast or my live stream. Look, he's a great guy. He runs an awesome business. And here's the thing. He's got a 5-star rating on Google. He's going to take care when he actually handles and ships your products. He also has pre-release of English, Japanese, and Korean product. He gets pre-releases out as fast or faster than anyone else out there, and so you'll be able to have that available to you if you want to take advantage of any of that. Also, if you want to buy from him, he gave me this code. It's code NOMICS. If you use that at checkout, you're going to get a free booster pack with every single purchase. No matter how big or how small, he's going to give you a free booster pack if you use that code at checkout, which is pretty cool. It's pretty nice of him. And so I did put his store up there. You know, I'll be honest with you, sometimes he's the cheapest, sometimes he's not, but I know with me, I've bought booster box cases or ETB cases on TCG Player or eBay at lowest price, and those sellers sometimes, they'll just send the whole case with a label smacked on it. At least this way, you know, you're going to get the stuff packaged correctly. It's going to be safely, you know, secured. And so you're actually going to have your collection or your investment not damaged. You're not going to have to take hits on it in the future because it got shipped through the mail. Same thing goes with the booster boxes or ETBs or other product. It pays, you know, sometimes to go with someone who's going to treat your stuff right and ship it correctly. And with him, you know, I know him. He's a good guy. He's got a 5-star rating. And, you know, everything you get from him is going to be in tip-top shape. Also, you know, I have all type of collection products. You know, I've been asked about, you know, where to buy it and what the best price is, what to buy. All like selling business supplies, you know, recording/streaming products and services. I put it all in one place. All the questions and messages I always get, and I have to like manually reply to each of them and find the links. Look, all the links are all here for you. I'm just going to refer everyone to this page from now on. So like most recently, I got asked about my my PSA graded card case I have with all my slabs in it. Boom, it's right here. Link straight to Amazon. Here's the case I use. It fits 140 slabs. PSA, CGC, BGS, it all fits in there. So all those links are all going to be on the website. So, you know, if you're looking for anything for your, you know, collection, your business, or if you're a, you know, YouTuber or Twitch streamer yourself, everything's going to be here. Everything I recommend and use myself. All right. Lastly, before I get into the promos, the reason I picked Unified Minds and Unbroken Bonds, because the pack prices are pretty reasonable at $21 and $23 for the hits you can get. This is Unified Minds. Look at all of these hits you can get. This is just the first page of hits. And I know you look at it and say, well, the top card's only $89 market price. No. Look, market price, I take into consideration all the conditions. When you actually look at what a near mint copy goes for, it's like a $200 card. Okay. Even when you step down like the fifth best card in the set, the Slowpoke's Slowbro, look, they were selling for $100. Now the lowest ones, there's barely any available. And that's what's happening for all these cards. They're all going into the hundreds. If you grade them in PSA 9, PSA 10, you're talking multiple hundreds. I don't know if any of these are to 1,000 yet, like Team Up, but they are going wild. And so I picked these boxes. Here's the Unbroken Bonds. It's the same exact way. Tons of awesome hits. Like Green's Exploration. Here's another example. 47 market price, but it's actually a $100 card. Okay, near mint, $100. So the reason I picked these two boxes is I think it's going to give you the best chance of getting a card, getting your value back in the pack, and making a considerable profit, especially if you're looking to grade it or even just sell it raw. And so that's why I picked these sets. You get the Charizards, you got the Blastoise, you know, you got the Mewtwo's that are chased after, you got the waifus, right, and eating both sets. And so I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be an awesome box break. Again, if you want to get involved, it's going to be right here on the home page. Just click on it. All the payment processing, it's not through me. It's all going to be secured. You can use credit card, PayPal, Apple Pay, whatever you want to use. And it's all 100% secured. And also, there'll be a note section. So in the notes, if you want me to give you a shout out, your name, your Instagram, your YouTube, anything you want me to shout out, you can leave in the note section. And it's kind of an added benefit to doing the break on the channel. I will shout you out in the live when I open your pack. So that's kind of an added benefit as well. But with all that being said, let's jump into the meat and potatoes of this video now, the promo card. So, top 10 undervalued modern promos. First up, it's going to be the Generations Red and Blue Collection promos. These were like the alt arts, the tag teams before those were a thing, okay? Here's the Charizard, right? It's got Flareon and Magmar in there. You also have the Blastoise with the Vaporeon and the Gyarados. Awesome card. You got the Venusaur with the Scyther and the Vileplume. And then you also have the Pikachu with the Electabuzz and the Jolteon. I mean, you can't really get much better than these artworks. Am I right? Now, as far as the undervalued goes. So, one thing is, other than the Charizard, it's kind of high. The pop reports are very low on these. So, you got the Blastoise, which is like 78 and 417. You got the Venusaur, 53 and 224. And then you have the Pikachu, 50 and 352. So, I know the Charizard's a little higher. However, we may be getting to a point in the hobby where it's so large, there's so many people in it, we may need to rethink pop reports a little bit. And I've had to come to this realization lately. Before it was always, low hundreds is what you're looking for, even maybe mid hundreds. But once it gets to 1,000 plus, that's way too many. It's not the case anymore. I'll show you what I mean, okay? Take a look at this Charizard, right? This is the Charizard VMAX from Darkness Ablaze, okay? It's still selling for $100, right? $100 in a PSA 10. However, Pop Report, it's got 13,000 of them in existence. People don't care. They're still willing to pay $100 for that card. Next up, we got the Charizard GX, all right? We got the shiny Charizard GX in a 9. It's still going for $310, although it's got 3,600 as a 9. And so, if these other Charizards, and I get they're set cards, they're not promos. However, if these Charizards have thousands and tens of thousands in population, and they're still going for hundreds of dollars, that's what tells me that this Charizard, with only 1,700 population of PSA 9, is pretty undervalued at $85, $89 a card. Okay, so you can pick these up right now at $90 in a PSA 9. So I don't know if it's going to be this, massive, jet up in the next year like some of the tag teams have been. But in my mind, with the populations rising and still having a huge interest in modern cards, and the artwork, and also how hard these are to actually get. I mean, to actually get these cards, you have to buy these boxes. And you can't find these collection boxes for under like 200, mid 200s a box now. And all you get is four generations packs in the promo card and a toy. And so I don't think too many of these are getting opened. I think most of the mint copies have been graded from what I've seen. Obviously, you could have people sitting on a bunch of these, but I don't see the population going a ton higher from here. It's going to obviously grow over time like anything does, but I do think these Charizards, the Blastoise being only like mid hundreds for a PSA 9, the Venusaur, it's already got bought out. It might not really be undervalued anymore like the other ones are. And then the Pikachu is the same way. It's been kind of getting bought out as well. But the Blastoise and the Charizard, they are still fair game. And I know I use PSA 9s, not 10s, because the 10s, they're already astronomical because they're so scarce. They're already in the thousands or your high hundreds. And so I think the 9s were more of the, chances are for the value to rise. But you can go for the 10s as well if you have deep pockets. But those are going to kind of be the first four, okay? The XY promos with the Charizard, Blastoise, Venusaur, Pikachu from Generations. All right, next up is going to be the Gengar from XY as well. So this shiny Gengar in Phantom Forces, that was the Gengar set in XY. It never got a shiny Gengar. It had a Gengar Full Art, a Gengar Secret Rare, but it never had a shiny Gengar. This is the only one created. So this is an XY promo. In a 10, it's going for like in the 500s, but in a 9, it's still in the mid hundreds. And for the population of these, only 101 10s and 162 9s, it's so scarce that these might not be around to buy in the future. You might not be able to find them. So we could argue about, well, it's not really that popular. It's not a full art. It's just a regular EX, whatever you want to say there. But it doesn't take that many people to want this card and be interested in it for those low pops to disappear pretty quickly. So that's why I think this is undervalued. Also, the only way to get this card is in these collector's chests in 2016. There's only 3 available on the market, and every single one of them is foreign. So Canada, United Kingdom. There's not even any available in the US. So these are getting scarce. The mint copies of these cards, the grade in a 9 or a 10 are getting scarce. So that's why Gengar is going to be my number 5 pick for the most undervalued promos. Now we're going to move on to Sun and Moon. All right, so this is the Snorlax GX. Hear me out. I know it's not like the most popular card with popular Pokemon, but this was the first GX card ever created, okay? This was released in the Snorlax GX box, all right, back in XY when Evolutions was out, before Sun and Moon even came out. And so this was the 5th promo of Sun and Moon, the first GX card. And so if people care anything about the firsts, it's still a Snorlax. It's an awesome looking card. It's got a move called Pulverizing Pancake. I think it's undervalued. In a 10, especially a 9, a 10 is only going for like the mid to higher hundreds right now. And the population on these is only 94 10s and 104 9s. Not just that, it's the same way. You can only get it from the collection boxes, and the collection boxes are already going for about $150, and there's really not too terribly many left. So as those start to disappear, unless they can grade a ton of 9s and 10s out of those, I don't see the populations getting too much higher, and so that could be a huge play down the road to go for the Snorlax GX. Next up, for the number 7th pick, is going to be the Dragonite Rainbow Rare from, what is this from? From Help me out, people. Help me out. This is going to be from Dragon Majesty. That's right. All right, from Dragon Majesty. Again, population, real low. 421 10s, 273 9s. Not very many of these are probably going to be getting open because the super premium collections are now $500 a piece. So we don't really have to worry too much about the population coming from sealed product being opened. You could always argue there's people out there with a lot of these still holding on to them raw. I don't know why though, because the 10s, they're already going for, in the mid 100s, and the 9s, they're kind of, about a third of that, about $60. So I think there's really, opportunity in either one, the 10 or the 9, depending on what your budget is, what your price points are. But there's very few. There's only 8 results for the 10s, and there's only 11 results for the 9. So these are very scarce cards. And if anyone's, goes back and wants to start collecting these rainbows, Dragonite's a super popular Pokemon. You can't get it anywhere else except this $500 box. And so I think Dragonite's definitely undervalued for where it's at right now. Moving on to number 8, it's going to be the Armored Mewtwo. Now look, the PSA 10 is already established a pretty high value, but this goes back to what I said at the beginning of the video. People got freaked out about higher populations back in the day being over 1,000. However, 1,000 population isn't stopping people nowadays. The popularity is so high. And if people start to go back and look at these Sun and Moon cards, this Armored Mewtwo is one of the coolest cards. I mean, that's kind of what people remember back in the day of Mewtwo, Giovanni's Mewtwo all armored up. And so 1,200 isn't that high when you think about it in those terms. And so when you look at what it's going for, this card is going as low as $57 and then get jumped up to 70s and 80s. That is extremely undervalued for this card, if you ask me. So for this Armored Mewtwo being in the 70s, now, if you go up to the PSA 10, I think it does, here, I'll search for it. I think it does jump up pretty high because it is so scarce. Yes, the PSA 10 is already going in the 5 and 600s. If your budget's higher and you see value in that, you can always jump in that. But I think the 9 is where I really see the undervalue. I mean, being, 10 times less than what the 10's going for. Even though the population isn't crazy high like we see in some of the Sword and Shield era promo. So that's what gets my number 8 pick. And for my number 9 and 10 pick, it's going to be the Venusaur and Blastoise VMAX. So, first off, these are the only Venusaur and Blastoise VMAXs made. That's it. They didn't come in sets. This is the only way you can get a VMAX Venusaur or a VMAX Blastoise is as these promos. And if you look, they're very low population. Now, I get it. These boxes are still cheap. They're going for about $100 for the 2 of them. A lot more of these could be getting opened. I know this wasn't a super popular set though, like a super popular box, and these aren't super popular cards, so there might not have been too many of these printed, meaning these populations may not go to the moon like people think, right? So I'm sure it may get up into 1,000, but that's not crazy considering being a Blastoise and a Venusaur. And if we go back and look at what the Charizard VMAX is going for, it's going for $100, right? And it has, here it is right here, $100, and it has 13,000 population. Just one step down from that is Blastoise and Venusaur, and those being at hundreds, I think they're extremely undervalued at, get this, $50, about $50, $55 for a PSA 10. That's crazy to me. When you go over and look at the Blastoise, it's a little more. It goes up to about like the 80s and 90s for a maybe like 70s and 80s for a PSA 10. Still, that's extremely undervalued for how low the population is. It's the only VMAX Venusaur and Blastoise, and so I think these are actually going to have a huge rise in the future if the population doesn't go crazy. Which at this point, being this far removed from that product, being in Scarlet and Violet now, I don't see a ton more of those coming to market and getting graded every day. And so it may be one of those things that the market is just missing right now. And so that's what gets my number 9 and 10 picks. So let's recap. We got the Generations Charizard promo, the Blastoise promo, the Venusaur promo, and the Pikachu promo, but it's more really the Charizard and Blastoise. These other two have really been getting bought up and they're kind of high right now. But then you move on to the Gengar, the shiny Gengar EX. We're going to move on to the Snorlax GX, the first GX card, Pulverizing Pancake. We got the Rainbow Dragonite from Dragon Majesty. I remembered it that time. Then we got the Armored Mewtwo, the Venusaur VMAX, and the Blastoise VMAX. So if you want to take advantage of any of those, I'm going to have the links to all of those on eBay in the comment section below if you want to, jump in any of those for your collection or investment purposes. Now, again, you know how I feel about, slabs long term, but I think there's definitely some short term, especially in the next 6 months, a year, 2 years, opportunity in a lot of these cards. And before we end the video, I gotta plug it one more time. Make sure you go to nostalgianomics.com, sign up for the box breaks. It's gonna be a great time on June 11th. Other than that, hope you enjoyed the video. Hope you got some value out of it. Let me know in the comment section. If you're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe. I'll be back here in a new video soon. I'm out.